So I'm flying UAVs. I start doing some other stuff. Start doing some sneaky peeky, and then just that's what happens, you know. And so I always ended up going deeper into the dark, you know, with those guys. Almost every time. It was weird. I don't know.
What team did you go to? What squadron did you go to?
Red and blue.
Red and blue?
And black, yeah.
And black?
Yeah.
I thought you were going
I
to say
did
black.
just little black stuff, you know, because I always kept, you know, needing whatever. And then I was running TSE. So that's the technology group at Dam Neck.
Okay.
And so I was running all that. And
You
I had
were
a huge
running
budget.
it?
I ran the whole thing, yeah. And because they put me in charge of it. And I was a senior chief at the time, so, hey, run this program. And I think the highest budget I ever had was $600 million. And I think when I was at Dam Neck, I probably only had like 40 million, I think. It wasn't that much. But it was enough to do the mission. And so buying and selling and working with the contractors and writing contracts that I had to do. So because I had to do all that, I had to go to school for that. So I went to, it's called Acquisition University. And so I had to learn the entire acquisition process, which I did. And I became an acquisition guru, which also is kind of a weird thing. But it was how to write contracts and how to do, you know, IDIQ and, you know, sole source and do that and do that. And I can run through all the stuff with that. And the problem with acquisition, which I found, the problem is a horse blanket. And anybody out there that does acquisition, and everybody at the Pentagon, you guys are full of shit. They're wasting so much money that I could cut the Pentagon budget. I could take a quarter of the budget off right now. I could walk in there right now and start cutting the budget. And then within a week, I could cut them by 25%. And it wouldn't affect them. Zero effect at all. Because of contracting. Because there's so much scam, there's so much stuff going on there, and double dipping and everything else going on. And it's all stovepipes. So the Air Force is stovepipe from everybody else, the Navy stovepipe from everybody else, Special Operations stovepipe. Then you have a Special Operations stovepipe. And that's why all these companies can make us double dip. And they do it all the time. The problem also is like, why are we the ones paying for all the R&D, and you guys are sitting there taking all the products, and then you turn around and sell them back to us? So they should have some skin in the game, because they're the ones going to end up making all the money off it. Why are we paying all the R&D? We're taking all the risk that this thing will fail. You guys should be taking some of the risk, because you guys get all the profit. That's how I would start cutting some of the budget. Was I would go to Congress as a Pentagon, as a Joint Chiefs, or whatever. I would go to Congress and I would make a new law. And you can pass laws easy and make everything happen up in Congress because it's all pork anyway. Just attach a little bit of pork onto some equality thing and it'll go through. And we'll make all those companies out there at minimum, every R&D project you do, minimum has to be 25% out of your pocket or 50% of your pocket.
So you were also pushing bills through Congress, little snippets.
I was working a lot with Congress.
Little snippets of pork.
Yeah. Well, no, I would work with whoever was the acquisition head of whatever division I was working with at the Pentagon, and then they would do all that.
Okay.
All I would do is get the money and the products. So I would do the project and put it all together, the quad charts and everything else, and say, this is a really good one to do. So I invented a 2-man submarine for SEALs. How fast do we swim when we're doing SEAL teams? Underwater. If you have all your gear on and you have to go do a sniper op, so you have your sniper bag on your back and all the other stuff, how fast can you swim?
Oh, man.
About
it's
a knot?
slow, but I
About a knot?
can't remember. Yeah. Maybe.
About a mile an hour?
Yeah.
So I could get 2 snipers into my little man-powered submarine with all their equipment, and we can go 6 miles an hour, 6 knots, man-powered. All they have to do is paddle. You can have one guy paddling, he can do about 4 knots. I invented that.
You invented that?
Gave it to the teams.
Holy shit.
And the thing is I have it in such a way that I could hermetically seal it into plastic, put it in all the torpedo tubes of the nukes. And so, because they don't use all the torpedo tubes, there's usually 1 or 2 of them are open to do stuff. And so usually we get a couple of them. So we'll go onto a submarine and get the torpedo tube, and we use that as a lockout chamber. So we have the sections and they're sectioned off. So I can take these submarines, I can put them end on end, so they're up like that, and they're the length of them about 20 feet. So it's a 20-foot long submarine for 2 people to kick out man-powered at 6 knots. And I package them up, and I put them in the submarines vertical like that, and it can be on every submarine in the fleet. And then going 6 knots We could drop you off 30 miles out off the coast, and then you guys can kick in. And drop you 12 miles off, 15 miles off, and drop you off wherever you want, and just kick into shore with a submarine going really fast.
Damn.
And then what happens to the submarine when we get on shore? It goes away. You know what it sounds like when it's underwater?
No.
It sounds like fish. So in a sonar, you can't pick it up. There's special things I did, and I can't talk about it, but there's stuff I did with that just blow your mind. And that was one of the special projects I did. And I think they only gave me they didn't give me very much money for that one. I think I did that one only with less than $100,000. For all the R&D and getting it all there and we made 4 prototypes, I think. And then I left that program, so I don't know where it is right now. And it's classified, so I don't know where that is.
Yeah.
I had another one where I could put out a signal, and if anybody records anything, anywhere in the world, I know the exact spot they recorded it. That was one of mine.
Man.
I don't know if that's classified because the shit's so old and nobody, well, at this point, it's like, if we think of it, and the amount of PhDs we have in America,
It's out there.
China already thought about it 10 years ago.
Yeah, that's true.
Because you can look at it, it's math. If we have one PhD to every 20 of theirs in STEM, I'm not talking about the stupid soft arts, the touchy-feely stuff. I don't care about any of that. America has so many PhDs in counseling and sociology and crap. All the STEM is where you got to be. STEAM, actually. STEAM is where we should be at, and it's all over there. We don't do it. And it pisses me off. And what are they pushing all these kids in grade school and high school right now? They're not pushing tech and math and engineering or any of this good stuff.
Yeah.
They're pushing all the touchy-feely and let's talk and play patty cakes and let's be nice. No, do math, man.
Yeah. Yep.
Because we're done already. We're finished.
I think we're done too.
As a country.
Didn't they come out and say mathematics is now racist?
Oh,
Isn't
yeah, I
that
said that
That's
too.
a real statement.
I heard also a real statement that if you're on time, it's racist. If you show up to something, if you're punctual.
Everything is racist now.
And that's what
Everything
our
is
country's
racist.
done. Our country's
I know.
done,
And
man.
nobody's speaking out about it. Nobody is speaking out about it. It's just, yep, this is where we're at. I'm not good at math, so it's racist.
I blame it all on cultural Marxism, the Frankfurt School, and the universities in America.
I mean,
We haven't talked about it yet.
It's influenced from China. You know what I mean? It's propaganda, don't you think?
No, I mean, it
With
started way
TikTok
before
and
that.
all that stuff?
It started before that. It started after Napoleon. Just after the Napoleonic Wars. That's when it started. Because one little group had some intel before anybody else did. And they bought a lot of land, and they bought a lot of stuff, and they sold a lot of stuff because they knew who won the war. They knew Napoleon lost. And so they took advantage of that intel, Rothschild. And then what they did was they took all that money and then they sold everything back and then doubled it all up, and then they became, instant billionaires after Napoleon's war. An instant billionaire in those times, they rule the world now.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Then they did it again in World War I. Then they did it again, the Spanish-American War. We blew the Maine up and then went to war with Cuba, Spain basically, to get all the product down there. It was sugar, the sugar plantations. It was a false flag to start a war with Spain, to get Spain out of Cuba, so America could be in Cuba, to get the sugar. It's the only reason we did that. The Maine was a fake. Everybody knows it. Nobody owns up to it. I do. America hadn't done everything right. We're kind of jerks,
How many of the other events do you think were fake?
Really?
Hey everybody, I'm Sean Ryan. Click here to subscribe to the Sean Ryan Show YouTube channel for the hottest and most compelling interviews that you will not see anywhere else. I've also made a playlist of all the previous SRS episodes so they're easy to find. You can find that right here.